Welcome back to the Hoop Bar. We have Damian Lillard. Him and the Blazers went out early, even though he had the healthy team, something he didn't have last year, and he actually had a healthy Nurkic, healthy McCollum, and they still lost to a Denver team missing Jamal Murray. Let's start with the Ganz. What do you think about Lillard's future? Do you think it's with the Blazers, or should he go to management and ask for a trade?
So I do believe he's going to go to management and ask for a trade. And let me tell you why. He's putting his time there and he's giving his blood, sweat, and tears. Right. I think this is the end of small market teams. Honestly, like it's not that Oregon's a horrible place to stay. It's a good land, so it's not comparable to Michigan or Detroit at all. But um, it's the era of the super team. Like, and if you can go pair yourself up with someone else, why not? Now, I don't know if you know this. So the Knicks are favored at a plus 250 to get him. Clippers are second, plus 275. Miami's at plus 300, third. Then the Lakers, Sixers, and Celtics in that order of teams to get him. Vegas odds. Um, and I got this off Bleacher Report reference. I think he'd be fantastic in New York. He would be the guy to really bring back the Mecca, as we've talked about. Not only that, man, the guy's a rapper, dude. Like, and New York City would eat him up, and he could put them back. They were the fourth seed. The Eastern Conference is open besides Brooklyn. You put him on that team with Randall and you make some adjustments, that would be his best strategic move for everything in his career. Plus, you're living in New York City. Don't go to the Clippers, man. Please don't. And honestly, Clippers would have to trade some assets, and Dame, you're better than that. So I'm just gonna pretend like Dame's not. I don't even know why I think he's a plus 275 to go there. Maybe because the Clippers have more assets to give him. Miami, I think he'd be great there because Jimmy doesn't like to run the show. You know what I mean? Like Dame Lillard would be a perfect fit there because he could take control and Jimmy is mainly defensive and can step in when he needs to. So, okay, I'm going to shorten this because I don't want to be forever. I think the Knicks and Heat have the best chance. I would like to see him go to New York. Of course, I'd like to see him go to the Lakers, but I don't think that's realistically going to happen. I don't know what that looks like in terms of what you give up to get him. If you can enlighten me, Matt, and how that could happen, I'm totally down for it. But I think the Knicks have most opportunity because they have a ton of salary cap too. So they can make the trade and they won't have no problem resigning him.
The Lakers aren't going to get Damian Lillard. Let's all, as Laker fans, especially during trade right now for this offseason, let's all, as Laker fans, just collectively, we're not going to get Damian Lillard. I mean, Knicks and Heat, I mean, we'll see. But those are two good suggestions, the Gons. Tony, where do you see, what do you think about Damian Lillard?
I agree with you. I don't see him going to any West Coast team. I don't think management, if he goes to management, I don't think they're willing to trade up to especially in their own division. They don't want to trade him to a rival in their own division. Usually that doesn't happen. I don't know if it has happened before in history, but most trades are, they want to trade him, to the other conference. So most likely, like the gun said, he'll probably land in a big market team like New York. Miami's a possibility. He'd be a great fit there. But yeah, I don't see him going to any West Coast team.
That's a good point. They want to keep teams away from the Western Conference, kind of like what Popovich did with Kawhi Leonard and trading him to the East Coast. So I could see a situation similar to that. Rahul, Damian Lillard, what do you think about his future? Or do you think it's with the Blazers, or should he go to management and ask for a trade?
Neil O'Shea says that they're a coach away from where they want to be. I don't think that's what Dame Lillard wants to hear. So I think that tweet about when is preparation going to meet opportunity, rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle, that tweet is very clear, right? As soon as it came out after the game, it was like, I'm Dame Lillard. I'm a pretty nice guy. I'm never going to be open about it as much as I probably should have been or should be. But I'm at a point where I can't just say, okay, I'm a guy that works hard like Kobe. I put in the work every single day and I put my head down and I go to work because that's my mentality, because that's who he is, right? I'm a fan of his. We're all fans of his because he just thrives in the pressure situations He never quits. He works hard, and he's really good at what he does. But he doesn't complain, and that's now to a fault. So that little tweet, it's as cryptic as it gets, and that's as outspoken as he's going to be about it. But he already has told them for sure that you can't say things like you're a coach away, because you're not a coach away. Because if for whatever reason you look good on paper like the Lakers did this year, you don't succeed when it matters because of either injuries, game plan, or just lack of skill. So whatever you think you have on paper, you don't have on the actual court. So you don't have that product. So he needs to say that, and he's going to be gone. Where he goes, I think it's funny that you guys think Lakers don't have a chance, because I want to raise of hands who thought LeBron James was coming to the Lakers before he actually came to.
I did.
How long?
I called it 2 years before.
I called it 2 years before too. I was already hinting when he was talking to Lonzo Ball, and
he had houses here.
Got it, but
his business was here already before.
He said New York for good reason, because New York, and he's into entertainment as well. Okay, so LA, he's entertainment as well. I want to know who New York. I don't know this, so I'm not questioning you. I'm asking, who is New York gonna send? Because I feel like the Lakers have the most they can offer. If I know, to Tony's point, you're right. It's not gonna happen. Probably not, because Tony, you're right. Why would they trade him to a rival? He's gonna say, "Luke, you got to trade me." They're gonna be like, "You've given us a lot of great years. Give us a select teams. We'll veto a few of them. We'll let you go to a few of them." If he said Lakers, they would veto it. Agreed. I'm on. So we don't need to bring it up again. But I think that the Lakers have the most assets outside of picks. So what do the Blazers want? Do they want to try to win still with McCollum and Nurkic and the rest of the crew, or do they want to completely rebuild? Because then what are they going to do with McCollum? So if they want to rebuild, I'm curious to see what the Knicks probably have picks. I don't know. I'm asking.
What do the Lakers have outside of, like, they don't have any picks because of the Anthony Davis trade? What do they have?
Assets didn't do nothing to show that they're assets.
Yeah. What do they have as far as what Portland would want?
I get it. But you have to look at what they're going to get from other teams and what their mindset is. So stop. I'm not saying look at the Lakers' assets and look how great they are, but they're better assets than anybody else is going to give them, unless you're saying that Knicks or Heat are going to break up their team to get Lillard, which wouldn't make sense.
It's going to be the super pick, like 4 picks and 4 pick swaps, like we saw with Drew Holiday.
RJ
who has
Barrett?
that? No, exactly.
The
Knicks have that.
Picks?
Yeah. RJ Barrett and all those pick swaps, and maybe quickly.
That's much more appealing than
something like that,
Kuzma,
right? That's why I kind of see the Ganz. I think I agree with the Ganz a little bit more, because those picks and pick swaps, well, from what is basically what Milwaukee had to give away to New Orleans to get Drew Holiday. It's going to be that much of a ransom, and even then some. They might need to get one more asset in order to acquire a player like Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard is a top 10 player. Drew Holiday is not a top 10 player, and he got all those picks, so he's going to demand much more than what Drew Holiday got.
And so to you guys, so what you guys are saying, that's fine. I'm just saying that so the Blazers would be okay with rebuilding right now. That's what I'm wondering.
Well, right? I mean, this team as constant as it is right now, they're not going anywhere.
But they don't think that. That's what I'm saying. They just said that to Dame Lillard, that, hey, we don't think that. We're just a coach away. So if they're going to trade Lillard, they potentially could be like, I just want to do a superstar swap, or at least not a superstar, then borderline all-star swaps, and McCollum can lead us, but I'm not ready to rebuild. So what if they go that route? Because Nurkic isn't old, McCollum isn't old. Who's the point guard that they have? Powell is decent for them. So, and they have a lot of depth still, right? So for them, if they're thinking that I don't want to rebuild, because what do I do with the rest of these players? And I don't want to live in that purgatory of 8th seed with McCollum and a bunch of picks and young players. So, and McCollum won't be happy with that anyway. So I'm thinking that they might do superstar for superstar. They're not going to get superstar for superstar, but if they do superstar for, like, you know, a Kyle Kuzma, Harrell, Schroeder, if you sign and trade, then doesn't that make sense for Portland? Because they can still contend, and they feel like they can still contend, and it works for the Lakers because they need that third star.
Yeah, I think the Portland situation is going to be very, very fluid over these next few months. We're going to be talking about this for the last few podcasts.
I don't see it happening.
I'm not saying I'm just saying you have to see what Portland's thinking.
Mm-hmm.
How do you know they're thinking they want to restart? That's what I'm saying.
Thank you for watching this clip from the latest episode of the Hoop Bar. Check the description for a link to the full episode on Spotify. Please consider liking and subscribing, and we'll see you next time.